The Newsday continues here on One News Now Business. I'm Diego Castro. Here are the biggest stories on the economic and corporate fronts. The Philippine Nuclear Research Institute says the push to establish nuclear energy sources in the country is now urgent. This as the PNRI says that 70% of the country's energy sources, including power sourced from Malampaya, are now running low. To keep the country from running out of power, the PNRI says government should back up its renewable energy sources with nuclear plants. Aside from serving as an additional power source, the PNRI says that nuclear power would also be lighter on consumers' pockets.
Kapakanan ng ating taong bayan. Kasi kung gugustuhin, pwede po yan, pwedeng ilagay ang nuclear plant, yung mga delilit na yan, no? Sa mga lugar na diblit. At saka para makatingin naman yung kababayan natin ng 24/7 na kuryente.
The PNRI also assures that building small nuclear energy facilities will have no harmful effects to people's health and the environment. Two provinces that are off-grid have been identified as ideal sites for small reactors.
Ang kagandahan doon sa small modular reactors, kasi maliit po siya, kakasya pa doon sa mga islang wala sa grid. Yan ang mga lugar na walang kuryente at saka mahal. Example, Occidental Mindoro, yung probinsya ko po, Catanduanes.
The National Grid Corporation attributes plant outages to heat and demand. NGCP spokesperson Cynthia Alabanza explained that if the demand was not that high, the effect on the grid would not have been so drastic. On Monday, 5 power plants went on forced outages, prompting the Luzon grid to be temporarily placed under red alert.
We're still looking at the next week or so and monitoring very closely yung demand. And we're also monitoring if magkakaroon pa ng additional unplanned maintenance activities. Because ideally, when NGCP coordinates the maintenance shutdowns of all the power plants connected to its system, we ensure that they don't schedule it all at the same time.
Alabanza added that heat-strained equipment may have also contributed to the forced outage at several power plants. The NGCP earlier said it is now preparing for possible unplanned power plant shutdowns in light of the looming El Nino.
The high temperatures not just increase demand, but also, I think, strain all equipment that run in such high temperatures. Kaya nga ngayon, umuulan, this is, I think, nag-release ng heat, which is good, yung lower demand ang makikita natin. So hopefully, this will continue, cooler weather will continue at least for the next couple of days.
President Bongbong Marcos is set to attend the 42nd ASEAN Summit in Indonesia. Marcos Jr. is scheduled to leave the country at around 12:30 this afternoon. The president is expected to tackle unity among ASEAN countries and geopolitical issues in the region. The president will also touch on food security, economic recovery, and workers' welfare. The president's trip to Indonesia is his third in more than a week, following his visit to the United Kingdom for the coronation of King Charles III and his 5-day trip to the United States. President Bongbong Marcos has issued an executive order creating a disaster response and crisis management task force. EO24 states that the task force will oversee and coordinate disaster risk management plans and programs. It is also tasked to collaborate with LGUs to ensure an integrated approach in disaster preparedness. The group is composed of officials from several agencies, including Defense and Interior departments. The President will designate a chairperson and vice chairperson from among its members. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Outstanding loans by big banks rose 10.1% year-on-year to more than 10.7 trillion pesos in March. That's the fastest growth in bank lending in 2 months, and it also ended 3 straight months of slower credit growth, according to the Bangko Sentral. BSP Governor Felipe Medalla said the sustained growth in credit is supported by sound Philippine banking system conditions. A slowdown in economic growth and high inflation are seen to weigh on the recovery of companies in the Philippines. That's according to S&P Global Ratings. S&P said Philippine corporates' revenue and profit growth may slow to mid or high single digits over the next 2 years. The Credit Watcher reported that companies' recoveries are expected to be complicated by inflation and the country's slowing economic momentum. This after the Credit Watcher noted that Philippine companies saw a decline in profits while incurring more debt during the pandemic. S&P also reported that 40% of Philippine companies still had lower profits in 2022 than in 2019. The national government's outstanding debt climbed to a fresh record high in March. Latest data from the Treasury Bureau shows that the national debt now stands at 13.86 trillion pesos by end March, up from the amount of 13.75 trillion pesos as of end February. The Treasury says the government added over 100 billion pesos in fresh obligations due to net issuance of domestic and external debt. Of the total debt stock, 68.7% was sourced domestically, while the rest were external borrowings. Twitter is canceling accounts that haven't been used for a long time. Elon Musk announced that the move on Twitter, saying that accounts that have had no activity for several years will be purged. This comes as Musk tries to ramp up engagement and opportunities to make money at the online platform that he bought at $44 billion in 2022. Since then, the company has imposed several changes, from content moderation to paid verification checks, alienating users and advertisers. Some users report that online wallet GCash is still down after some netizens earlier claimed that there were unauthorized transfers from their accounts. The mobile app has become inaccessible to users as of Tuesday morning, but some users are now reporting that they have managed to access their accounts. On Twitter, GCash told customers that the app was unavailable due to system maintenance. The e-wallet platform became a trending topic on Twitter this morning as netizens expressed fear of losing money stored in their accounts. This follows the circulation of posts from GCash customers whose accounts were supposedly hacked, leading to unauthorized transactions. GCash acknowledged that some customers may have experienced a deduction in their accounts, but assured its users that no hacking had occurred. GCash says any deductions will be adjusted before 3 p.m. today. GCash also says funds remain safe and secure. Digital Pinoy, a network of digital advocates, is calling for an investigation into the safety of GCash after victims supposedly reached out to their group. They say the government should act swiftly to address the matter. The group is also urging GCash to reimburse those affected and to implement a loan amnesty program for subscribers victimized by the supposed unauthorized transactions. Senator Jinggoy Estrada wants telco companies and internet service providers to refund subscribers in the event of prolonged service interruptions. Under a bill filed by the senator, internet service interruptions should last no longer than 24 hours. Otherwise, telco firms and ISPs would be obligated to give refunds within a month to their subscribers, whether prepaid or postpaid users. The senator says the bill would help ensure that telco companies and ISPs provide the service that customers are paying for.
Gusto natin na matumbasan ng nararapat ang kaukulang serbisyo, ang bawat sentimo na binabayaran natin sa mga telecom services. Dahil kung di naman nila natutupad ang pinapangako nilang produkto o serbisyo, di na tayo dapat singilin ng mga telco companies. Sa industriya ng telecommunications and internet services, the availability of reliable connection is of utmost importance.
And those are the top business stories of the hour. I'm Diego Castro. Join us again at 2 p.m. We are One News. All sides, all the time.